Silence Power, written and published by Ngasline. Discover the profound transformative potential of silence power, where the art of mental stillness becomes your most potent strategy for effortless manifestation and personal mastery. This deep exploration reveals the hidden science of silence, demonstrating how becoming the silent observer can revolutionize communication, decision-making, and personal effectiveness across every dimension of life. By understanding the sacred dimensions of silence and embracing digital silence in a hyperconnected world, you'll learn to cultivate silent strength that attracts opportunities, enhances intuition, and creates a powerful energetic field where everything comes to you with extraordinary ease and intentionality. Beyond traditional approaches to success, the silent way offers a revolutionary paradigm of living, where less becomes more, stillness becomes action, and your quiet presence speaks volumes more powerfully than any words ever could. Understanding the power of silence. Silence is more than the mere absence of sound. It is a powerful force that shapes our experiences, thoughts, and the very essence of our being. In our modern world, where noise constantly surrounds us, understanding the true nature of silence becomes increasingly vital. Silence exists in various forms, from the physical quietness we experience in nature to the profound internal stillness that allows us to connect with our deepest selves. Silence holds a unique ability to reveal truth. When we step away from the constant noise of opinions, advice, and information, we can hear our own inner voice more clearly. This internal guidance system, often drowned out by external chaos, becomes our most reliable compass in decision-making and personal growth. The practice of engaging with silence allows us to distinguish between genuine desires and societal expectations, between authentic needs and conditioned responses. Our relationship with silence reflects our relationship with ourselves. Many people feel uncomfortable with silence because it brings them face to face with their unprocessed thoughts and emotions. Yet this very discomfort signals an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. By learning to sit with silence, we develop emotional resilience and self-awareness that serve us in all areas of life. The physical benefits of silence are equally remarkable. Studies have shown that 2 minutes of silence can be more relaxing than listening to relaxing music. Silent moments reduce blood pressure, steady heart rate, and decrease stress hormone levels. Regular exposure to silence has been linked to better sleep quality, improved immune function, and enhanced cognitive performance. Understanding silence also means recognizing its role in the natural world. Every ecosystem has periods of quiet that are crucial for its survival. Animals use silence for protection, hunting, and communication. The human-made noise pollution affecting these natural patterns reminds us of the essential role silence plays in maintaining balance in all living systems. As we begin to explore the depths of silence, we discover that it's not a void to be filled, but a presence to be embraced. It's a dynamic force that works beneath the surface of our awareness, creating space for new possibilities and nurturing our innate wisdom. Understanding the power of silence is the first step toward harnessing its potential for personal transformation and effortless achievement. The Art of Mental Stillness. Mental silence is a different realm from physical silence, yet both are intrinsically connected in their power to transform our lives. While physical silence involves the absence of external noise, mental stillness represents a state where internal chatter subsides, allowing us to experience true clarity and peace. This internal quiet is often more challenging to achieve than external silence, as our minds naturally generate countless thoughts throughout the day. Our mental space is typically filled with a constant stream of thoughts, worries about the future, reminiscence of the past, judgments, plans, and endless internal dialogues. This mental noise creates a barrier between us and our true potential, preventing us from accessing deeper levels of wisdom and creativity. The art of mental stillness involves learning to observe these thoughts without becoming entangled in them, gradually creating space between our conscious awareness and the endless mental chatter. The practice of mental stillness begins with acceptance. Rather than fighting against our thoughts or trying to force them into silence, we learn to acknowledge their presence without engaging with them. Think of your mind as a vast sky and your thoughts as clouds passing through it. The sky remains unchanged regardless of the clouds that move across it. Similarly, your awareness can remain still and peaceful even as thoughts drift through your consciousness. One powerful technique for cultivating mental stillness is the practice of thought observation. By simply watching your thoughts without judgment or reaction, you begin to create distance from them. This distance allows you to recognize that you are not your thoughts, but rather the consciousness observing them. This realization alone can bring immediate relief from mental turbulence. The breath serves as an anchor for mental stillness. When you notice your mind becoming overwhelmed with thoughts, gently redirect your attention to your breathing. Focus on the natural rhythm of your inhalation and exhalation. This simple act of attention brings you back to the present moment, where true mental stillness resides. Another effective approach to quieting the mind involves engaging fully in the present moment through sensory awareness. By deliberately focusing on what you can see, hear, feel, smell, and taste right now, you naturally reduce mental chatter. This practice helps break the habit of constant mental projection into the future or past, where most of our stressful thoughts reside. Mental stillness also requires understanding the nature of thoughts themselves. Thoughts are energy patterns that arise and dissipate naturally, like waves on the ocean. By recognizing their impermanent nature, we can learn to let them pass without attaching significance to every single one. This understanding helps prevent us from becoming overwhelmed by our thought processes. Creating regular periods of mental stillness throughout your day can dramatically transform your experience of life. Even brief moments of mental quiet can provide clarity, reduce stress, and enhance your ability to respond rather than react to life's challenges. These moments of stillness become foundations for deeper insights and more effortless manifestation of your desires. The practice of mental stillness is not about achieving a completely thought-free state. Such a goal would be both impossible and unnecessary. Instead, it's about developing a new relationship with your thoughts, one where you maintain your center of calm awareness regardless of mental activity. This inner stability becomes a source of tremendous power, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and clarity. Silence in communication. The art of silence in communication represents one of the most powerful yet underutilized tools in human interaction. When we think about communication, we often focus on speaking, choosing the right words, and expressing ourselves clearly. However, the strategic use of silence can dramatically enhance our ability to connect, understand, and influence others in profound ways. At its core, silence in communication begins with genuine listening. Most people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand. When we maintain silence while others speak, we create space for deeper comprehension and emotional connection. This practice allows us to absorb not just the words being spoken, but also the subtle nuances, emotional undertones, and unspoken messages that often carry more meaning than the words themselves. Strategic pauses serve as powerful punctuation marks in our verbal exchanges. A well-timed pause can emphasize important points, allow others to process information, and create dramatic effect in presentations or negotiations. These moments of silence command attention and respect, often carrying more weight than additional words ever could. When we become comfortable with these pregnant pauses, we develop a natural authority that draws others in and makes them more receptive to our message. Silence also plays a crucial role in strengthening relationships. By resisting the urge to fill every moment with words, we create space for authentic connection. This practice becomes particularly valuable during emotional conversations or conflicts. A moment of silence can prevent reactive responses, allow tensions to dissipate, and create opportunities for more thoughtful exchanges. It demonstrates respect for others' feelings and gives them the space to express themselves fully. The power of silence extends beyond personal relationships into professional settings. In negotiations, for example, silence can be a formidable tool. After making a proposal or receiving an offer, remaining silent often prompts the other party to continue speaking, potentially revealing important information or making concessions. This technique, known as the silent close-in sales, demonstrates how silence can create gentle pressure without aggression. Active listening through silence also helps us develop greater empathy and emotional intelligence. When we truly listen without planning our response, we begin to notice subtle shifts in tone, facial expressions, and body language. This heightened awareness allows us to respond more appropriately and build stronger connections with others. It's through these moments of quiet attention that we gain insights into others' perspectives, needs, and motivations. In group settings, silent observation can reveal important dynamics and relationships that might otherwise go unnoticed. By occasionally stepping back from active participation, we can better understand group dynamics, identify underlying tensions, and choose more effective ways to contribute to the conversation. The practice of silence in communication requires patience and self-discipline. It means overcoming our natural impulse to fill quiet moments with words and learning to be comfortable with periods of silence. This comfort with silence often distinguishes skilled communicators from average ones. It shows confidence, self-control, and emotional maturity. Through mindful use of silence, we can transform our communication from mere exchanges of information into opportunities for deeper understanding and connection. Whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or casual interactions, the thoughtful application of silence can enhance our ability to communicate effectively and build stronger, more meaningful relationships with others. Silent manifestation. The profound connection between silence and manifestation lies in the pure potential that exists in stillness. When we quiet our minds and enter into deep silence, we create a powerful vacuum that naturally draws our desires toward us. This process operates much like the law of attraction, but with an added dimension of clarity and intention that only silence can provide. In the depths of silence, our thoughts become more potent and focused. Without the usual mental static and conflicting desires that cloud our minds, we can hold our intentions with crystal clarity. This clarity acts as a beacon, broadcasting our desires into the universe with unprecedented precision. Think of it as tuning a radio to exactly the right frequency. When we eliminate the static, the signal comes through pure and strong. The practice of silent manifestation begins with allowing yourself to sink into complete stillness. In this space, your desires naturally emerge without the force or strain that often accompanies traditional goal-setting methods. Rather than pushing and struggling to make things happen, you create an opening for your aspirations to flow toward you effortlessly. This approach aligns with the natural order of the universe, where creation often emerges from the void. During silent manifestation, you'll notice that your intentions become more refined and authentic. The quiet space allows you to distinguish between surface-level wants and deeper, soul-aligned desires. Many people discover that what they truly want differs from what they thought they wanted when their minds were cluttered with external influences and societal expectations. The power of creating from stillness extends beyond mere wishful thinking. In silence, you naturally align with the frequency of your desires, making you a perfect match for their manifestation. Just as a pond must be still to reflect the sky clearly, your mind must be quiet to reflect your true desires and attract them into your reality. This process works because silence helps you transcend the limiting beliefs and doubts that typically obstruct manifestation. When you're truly silent, the usual mental chatter that says it's impossible or you don't deserve it falls away. In this space, pure potential exists, unhampered by past experiences or perceived limitations. The practice of silent manifestation also develops your ability to detect and follow subtle guidance. As you spend time in silence, you become more attuned to intuitive nudges and synchronicities that guide you toward your desires. These quiet signals often get drowned out in the noise of daily life, but in silence, they become clear signposts pointing the way forward. To enhance your manifestation practice, spend time in silence before sleep and upon waking, when your mind naturally operates at slower brainwave frequencies. During these periods, hold your desires lightly in your awareness without strain or attachment. Trust that the silence itself is doing the work, much like a seed sprouting in dark, quiet soil. Silent manifestation operates on its own timeline. Unlike forceful approaches to achieving goals, this method works with the natural flow of life. Sometimes manifestations appear quickly, while others require a longer gestation period in the silence. Trust the process and maintain your practice of stillness, knowing that everything aligns perfectly when you create from a place of deep silence. The beauty of silent manifestation lies in its effortlessness. Instead of exhausting yourself with constant action and striving, you learn to access the infinite power of stillness. In this space, manifestation becomes a natural unfolding rather than a forced process. Your role is simply to maintain the silence and stay open to receiving what naturally flows toward you. The silent observer. The practice of silent observation is perhaps one of the most powerful tools we possess for understanding ourselves and the world around us. By cultivating the art of being a silent observer, we develop a heightened sense of awareness that allows us to perceive subtle nuances, underlying patterns, and deeper truths that often escape our notice in the rush of daily life. When we embrace the role of the silent observer, we step back from our usual tendency to immediately react, judge, or analyze everything we encounter. Instead, we create space to simply witness what is occurring around us with a sense of curiosity and openness. This shift in perspective transforms our relationship with reality, allowing us to see situations and people with fresh eyes, unburdened by preconceptions or biases. The silent observer state naturally cultivates a quality of presence that enhances our ability to read situations accurately. When we're not caught up in our internal dialogue or preparing our next response, we become attuned to the subtle cues in our environment, body language, emotional undercurrents, and unspoken dynamics. This heightened awareness serves as a valuable tool in both personal and professional contexts, enabling us to navigate complex situations with greater wisdom and understanding. One of the most remarkable aspects of silent observation is its ability to bring clarity to confused or chaotic situations. When we observe without immediately trying to fix, change, or judge what we see, patterns and solutions often emerge naturally. This clarity comes from allowing our minds to process information holistically rather than forcing conclusions through analytical thinking alone. The practice of silent observation also helps us develop emotional intelligence. By watching our own reactions and emotions with the same detached curiosity we apply to external events, we gain valuable insights into our patterns of thought and behavior. This self-awareness becomes a foundation for personal growth and improved relationships with others. In group settings, the silent observer often notices dynamics that others miss while caught up in conversation or activity. This perspective can be invaluable in understanding team dynamics, identifying potential conflicts before they escalate, and recognizing opportunities for positive change. The silent observer becomes a repository of wisdom, gathering insights that can be shared at appropriate moments to benefit the collective. The art of silent observation requires patience and practice. It means resisting the urge to immediately categorize or label experiences and instead staying open to what each moment reveals. This approach helps us move beyond surface level understanding to grasp the deeper essence of situations and relationships. Our role as silent observers extends beyond mere passive watching. It's an active state of receptivity that allows us to absorb and process information on multiple levels. This deep listening, with all our senses, creates a rich understanding that informs our actions and decisions when the time comes to engage more directly. The power of silent observation lies in its ability to transform our perspective from one of reactive participation to conscious awareness. Through this practice, we develop the capacity to see beyond immediate appearances to the underlying truth of situations. This enhanced perception naturally leads to more effective actions and decisions, as we respond from a place of clear understanding rather than habitual reaction. Silence in decision-making. The quality of our decisions shapes the trajectory of our lives, yet we often make choices in a state of mental chaos. When faced with important decisions, most people frantically gather opinions, analyze endless data, and create exhaustive pros and cons lists. While these traditional approaches have their place, incorporating silence into our decision-making process can lead to remarkably better outcomes. Silence allows us to access our intuition, that deep inner knowing that transcends logical analysis. When we quiet our minds, we create space for our subconscious to process information in ways our conscious mind cannot. This is why we often have breakthrough insights during quiet moments like taking a shower or going for a solitary walk. These moments of silence enable our brains to make connections and see patterns that remain hidden in the noise of active thinking. The practice of silent decision-making begins with resistance, resisting the urge to immediately react or respond when faced with a choice. Instead of jumping to conclusions or being swayed by external pressures, we can take a conscious pause. This pause might last a few minutes for smaller decisions or several days for life-changing ones. During this time, we simply hold the question in our awareness without actively trying to solve it. Consider how nature operates. A seed doesn't force its way into becoming a flower through constant effort. It simply remains still, allowing the natural process of growth to unfold. Similarly, when we approach decisions with silence, we allow our inner wisdom to naturally emerge. This wisdom takes into account not just logical factors, but also our values, emotions, and deeper understanding of the situation. The silence-based approach to decision-making also helps us avoid reactive choices driven by fear, pressure, or temporary emotions. When we're silent, we can observe our thoughts and feelings about the decision without becoming entangled in them. This creates emotional distance and clarity, enabling us to see whether our potential choice aligns with our authentic selves or is merely a reaction to external circumstances. Our intuition becomes particularly accessible during times of silence. While logic processes information sequentially, intuition works holistically, considering countless factors simultaneously. This is why we sometimes just know something is right or wrong, even if we can't immediately explain why. Silence allows this intuitive knowledge to surface and be heard above the noise of analytical thinking. The practice of silent decision-making also prevents us from being overly influenced by others' opinions. While seeking advice can be valuable, too many voices can drown out our own inner guidance. By spending time in silence, we can distinguish between external influences and our own truth. This doesn't mean we ignore others' input, but rather we process it through the filter of our own wisdom. Creating a regular practice of silent reflection makes this approach more natural over time. Start by taking a few minutes of silence before making any decision, no matter how small. Notice the quality of choices made from this space of stillness versus those made in haste or under pressure. As this practice becomes habitual, you'll find yourself naturally pausing before important decisions, allowing solutions to arise effortlessly from your inner silence. Through silence, we access a deeper intelligence that encompasses both rational analysis and intuitive knowing. This balanced approach leads to decisions that not only make logical sense, but also feel deeply right on an emotional and spiritual level. When we learn to harness the power of silence in decision-making, we transform what was once a stressful process into an opportunity for inner guidance and clarity. The silent workplace. The modern workplace is often characterized by constant noise, interruptions, and endless streams of communication. Yet, within this bustling environment lies an untapped resource, the power of silence. Understanding and implementing strategic silence in professional settings can dramatically transform your work experience and career trajectory. Silent leadership has emerged as a powerful management approach that emphasizes thoughtful presence over constant verbal direction. Leaders who master the art of silence often find their teams becoming more independent, creative, and confident. When a leader remains silent in meetings, team members feel more empowered to share their ideas and take ownership of projects. This creates a natural flow of innovation and collaboration that cannot be forced through traditional directive leadership. Creating quiet spaces within the workplace has become increasingly important as open office plans and collaborative environments become the norm. These designated areas allow employees to access deeper levels of focus and creativity. Companies that implement quiet zones or silence hours often report increased productivity and employee satisfaction. The key is to establish clear boundaries and expectations around these silent spaces, ensuring they become respected sanctuaries for concentrated work. Silence can also be a powerful tool in negotiations and important business discussions. Those who resist the urge to fill every moment with words often gain significant advantages. In negotiations, strategic silence creates space for others to reveal more information, make concessions, or reconsider their positions. This practice requires confidence and self-control, but the results can be remarkable. When you remain silent after making a proposal or during a critical moment, you allow the power of that silence to work in your favor. Professional relationships also benefit from the thoughtful application of silence. Rather than rushing to offer solutions or opinions, taking time to truly listen and process information leads to more meaningful connections with colleagues and clients. This approach helps build trust and demonstrates respect for others' perspectives. In client meetings, comfortable silence can create space for deeper understanding and more authentic interactions. The implementation of silent work periods can revolutionize team productivity. Many organizations have found success with designated quiet hours during which interruptions are minimized and focused work is prioritized. During these periods, emails and messages are paused, allowing employees to enter a state of deep work where their most valuable contributions emerge. This practice acknowledges that constant connectivity doesn't always equate to productivity. Silence in the workplace also serves as a powerful tool for conflict resolution. When tensions arise, the instinct is often to speak more, defend positions, or argue points. However, introducing moments of silence can de-escalate situations and create space for more constructive dialogue. This approach allows parties to move beyond reactive responses and find more thoughtful solutions to challenges. Personal workspace management through silence can significantly enhance professional performance. Starting the day with a few minutes of silence, taking silent breaks between tasks, or practicing silent reflection before important meetings can improve focus and decision-making abilities. These practices help professionals maintain clarity and purpose throughout their workday, leading to more effective outcomes. The silent workplace isn't about eliminating all sound or communication. Rather, it's about creating an environment where silence is valued and utilized as a tool for success. When organizations and individuals learn to harness the power of silence, they often find that productivity, creativity, and satisfaction naturally increase. The key is to view silence not as an absence of action, but as a powerful catalyst for professional growth and achievement. Silence strength. Inner strength often manifests not in what we say or do, but in our ability to remain silent and composed. The power of silence as a source of personal strength has been recognized across cultures and throughout history. When we cultivate silent strength, we develop an unshakable core that radiates confidence without the need for external validation or constant expression. True confidence emerges from a place of inner stillness. Unlike the brash, loud confidence that demands attention, silent confidence carries a magnetic quality that naturally draws others toward us. This form of quiet assurance comes from knowing who we are and being comfortable with ourselves, without the need to prove anything to anyone. When we embrace silence as our foundation of strength, we naturally begin to operate from a place of authentic power rather than reactive force. Non-reaction is one of the most powerful expressions of silent strength. When faced with provocations, criticism, or challenging situations, the ability to remain silent rather than immediately responding demonstrates profound inner control. This doesn't mean becoming passive or allowing others to take advantage of us. Instead, it means choosing our responses consciously rather than reacting impulsively. Through silent strength, we gain the ability to pause, assess, and respond thoughtfully when necessary. Silence also serves as a natural boundary setter. Many people feel compelled to explain, justify, or defend their choices and actions. However, silence can be a powerful way to establish and maintain healthy boundaries without confrontation or conflictation or conflict. When we're secure in our silent strength, we don't need to explain our decisions or seek approval from others. This form of boundary, setting through silence, is both elegant and effective. The practice of silent strength transforms our relationship with ourselves and others. It allows us to develop a deeper sense of self-trust and intuition. When we're not constantly expressing ourselves outwardly or seeking external validation, we create space to hear our inner wisdom more clearly. This inner alignment becomes a source of unwavering confidence that others can sense, even without words. In challenging situations, silent strength becomes our anchor. Instead of being swept away by emotional reactions or the need to defend ourselves, we can remain centered in our quiet power. This stability allows us to navigate conflicts and difficulties with grace and wisdom. Others often find themselves naturally aligning with our calm presence, as silent strength has a way of diffusing tension and creating space for resolution. The development of silent strength also enhances our personal magnetism. When we're comfortable with silence and operate from a place of inner confidence, we naturally attract opportunities and relationships that align with our authentic selves. This magnetism comes from the quiet assurance that we don't need to chase or force things to happen. Instead, we trust in our silent power to draw the right circumstances and people toward us. Silent strength becomes particularly valuable in leadership and influence. Leaders who embody quiet confidence often command more respect and trust than those who rely on loud authority. This form of leadership inspires others through presence rather than pressure, creating an environment where others feel empowered to find their own strength through silence. By cultivating silent strength, we discover that true power doesn't require constant demonstration or validation. It's a quiet force that builds gradually through consistent practice and self-awareness. As we embrace this path, we find that our silence becomes our strength and our presence speaks louder than any words could express. Digital silence. In our hyper-connected world, the constant stream of notifications, messages, and digital noise has become a significant source of mental clutter. Digital silence represents more than just turning off our devices. It's about creating intentional spaces of quiet in our technological lives to restore balance and enhance our well-being. The average person checks their phone over 100 times per day, each interaction creating a small interruption in our thought processes and natural rhythms. These micro-disruptions accumulate, leading to decreased focus, increased stress, and a disconnection from our inner voice. Digital silence offers a pathway back to clarity and presence in an age of perpetual connectivity. Creating digital silence begins with understanding our relationship with technology. Notice how your body and mind respond to notifications. Observe the urge to constantly check social media and become aware of how digital consumption affects your energy levels and mood. This awareness forms the foundation for establishing healthier digital boundaries. Implementing digital silence doesn't require complete technological abstinence. Instead, it involves creating structured periods where we consciously step away from digital stimulation. This might mean designating certain hours as phone-free zones, turning off non-essential notifications, or establishing regular digital sabbaticals. These intentional breaks allow our minds to reset and our attention to naturally realign with our priorities. The practice of digital silence extends beyond personal devices to our entire digital environment. Consider the impact of background noise from televisions, smart speakers, and other connected devices. Each of these creates a layer of subtle mental stimulation that can prevent us from accessing deeper states of clarity and creativity. By consciously curating our digital environment, we can create spaces that support rather than hinder our inner silence. One powerful approach to digital silence involves creating transition zones between online and offline activities. Before engaging with technology, take a moment to pause and set an intention. After using devices, allow a brief period of silence to process and integrate information. These small gaps help maintain awareness and prevent digital engagement from becoming unconscious habit. The workplace presents unique challenges for digital silence. Emails, instant messages, and virtual meetings can create a constant stream of interruptions. Establishing clear boundaries around digital availability, such as designated email checking times and do not disturb, Periods helps preserve mental space for focused work and creative thinking. These boundaries often lead to increased productivity and better quality output. Social media deserves special attention in the practice of digital silence. While these platforms offer valuable connection opportunities, they can also become sources of mental noise and emotional turbulence. Regular social media fasts allow us to reset our relationship with these tools and rediscover the joy of unmediated experience. During these breaks, notice how your mind naturally settles and your attention span gradually expands. Sleep quality often improves significantly when we incorporate digital silence into our evening routines. The blue light from screens and the mental stimulation from digital content can disrupt our natural sleep patterns. Creating a digital-free buffer zone before bedtime allows our minds to naturally transition into a state of rest, leading to deeper and more restorative sleep. Digital silence becomes particularly powerful when combined with mindfulness practices. Use the moments when you would typically reach for your phone as opportunities for brief meditation or conscious breathing. These micro-moments of presence can accumulate throughout the day, creating a sustainable foundation for inner peace amidst digital demands. Through mindful implementation of digital silence, we can maintain the benefits of technology while preserving our mental clarity and emotional balance. This practice allows us to use digital tools intentionally rather than being used by them, creating space for genuine connection, creativity, and inner growth in our increasingly digital world. Sacred silence. Silence has been revered across cultures and spiritual traditions as a gateway to profound wisdom and divine connection. This sacred dimension of silence transcends mere physical quietude, offering a portal to deeper realms of consciousness and spiritual awakening. When we embrace sacred silence, we open ourselves to experiences that words cannot adequately describe. The spiritual aspects of silence have been documented in countless religious and philosophical traditions. Buddhist practitioners have long understood that enlightenment emerges from the space between thoughts. Christian monastics practice contemplative silence as a way to hear the divine voice. Sufi mystics speak of the silent heart that communes directly with the beloved. These diverse traditions share a common understanding. Sacred silence is not empty, it is filled with presence. Meditation serves as a primary vehicle for experiencing sacred silence. Unlike popular misconceptions, meditation isn't about forcing the mind to be quiet. Instead, it's about creating space to observe the natural ebb and flow of thoughts while remaining anchored in silent awareness. This practice gradually reveals the profound peace that exists beneath mental activity. Through regular meditation, practitioners discover that sacred silence is always available, waiting patiently beneath the surface of daily experience. Contemplative practices extend beyond traditional meditation to include various forms of silent reflection. Walking in nature while maintaining inner silence allows us to commune with the wisdom inherent in the natural world. Sitting in silent prayer or contemplation creates opportunities for divine guidance to emerge. Even simple activities like washing dishes or gardening can become contemplative practices when approached with sacred silence. The connection with inner wisdom strengthens as we cultivate sacred silence. This inner knowing differs from intellectual knowledge or emotional impulses. It emerges from a deeper place of truth and clarity that becomes accessible when we quiet the usual mental chatter. Through sacred silence, we develop trust in this internal guidance system, allowing it to inform our choices and direction in life. Sacred silence also reveals the interconnected nature of existence. In deep silence, the illusion of separation dissolves, and we experience our fundamental unity with all of life. This recognition naturally fosters compassion, understanding, and a sense of responsibility for the well-being of others. The wisdom gained through sacred silence often leads to more conscious and ethical ways of living. The practice of sacred silence transforms our relationship with time. Instead of being caught in the constant rush of doing, we learn to rest in being. This shift in perspective allows us to experience the eternal nature of the present moment. Time expands in silence, creating a sense of spaciousness that contrasts sharply with the rushed quality of modern life. Creating dedicated spaces for sacred silence supports this spiritual dimension of life. A quiet corner in your home, adorned with meaningful objects and free from digital distractions, can serve as a sanctuary for silent practice. Regular visits to places of worship, retreat centers, or natural settings can deepen your experience of sacred silence. As we integrate sacred silence into our spiritual practice, we discover that it's not just a tool for personal growth, but a fundamental aspect of our true nature. The silence we seek is not separate from who we are. It is our essential being. Through consistent engagement with sacred silence, we gradually unveil this truth, allowing our lives to become expressions of the wisdom and peace we discover in stillness. The science of silence. The human brain and body respond profoundly to silence in ways that scientific research is only beginning to understand. When we expose ourselves to periods of genuine silence, remarkable transformations occur within our neural pathways and physiological systems. Studies conducted at regenerative research institutes have shown that 2 hours of silence daily can stimulate the growth of new brain cells in the hippocampus, the region associated with learning, memory, and emotion regulation. The noise pollution that surrounds us in modern life triggers the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, keeping our bodies in a constant state of low-grade fight, or flight response. When we intentionally seek silence, these hormone levels naturally decrease, allowing our nervous system to shift into a restorative parasympathetic state. This biological reset enables deeper breathing, lower blood pressure, and improved immune system function. Research has demonstrated that silence is more effective at releasing tension than even traditionally relaxing music. A groundbreaking study published in the journal Heart found that 2-minute periods of silence inserted between musical tracks were more stabilizing to cardiovascular and respiratory systems than the music itself. These silent pauses reduced blood pressure, heart rate, and respiratory rates more effectively than slow-tempo melodies. The brain's default mode network becomes particularly active during periods of silence. This neural network, which operates when we're not focused on the external environment, plays a crucial role in emotional processing, personal reflection, and memory consolidation. Regular exposure to silence strengthens these neural pathways, enhancing our capacity for self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Silence also impacts our stress response at the cellular level. Extended periods of quiet reduce inflammation markers in the body, boost immune function, and even influence gene expression related to stress management. Scientists have observed that individuals who regularly practice silent meditation show measurable changes in their telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes that indicate cellular aging and longevity. The auditory cortex undergoes a remarkable recalibration during sustained silence. Like a muscle that needs rest between workouts, our hearing mechanisms require quiet periods to maintain optimal sensitivity and processing ability. This recuperation enhances our capacity to filter important sounds from background noise and improves our overall auditory processing capabilities. Sleep researchers have found that exposure to periods of silence throughout the day leads to improved sleep quality at night. The absence of noise pollution allows the brain to properly cycle through sleep stages, particularly during crucial slow-wave sleep when the body performs most of its cellular repair and memory consolidation. The benefits of silence extend to cognitive performance as well. Studies of office workers have shown that those who work in quiet environments demonstrate superior problem-solving abilities, enhanced creativity, and better attention spans compared to those in noisy settings. Even brief periods of silence during the workday can reset cognitive function and improve mental clarity. Silent practices have been shown to stimulate the vagus nerve, the primary component of the parasympathetic nervous system. This stimulation increases heart rate variability, a key indicator of stress resilience and emotional regulation capacity. Regular activation of the vagus nerve through silent practices strengthens our ability to maintain calm under pressure and recover quickly from stressful situations. Understanding these scientific underpinnings of silence helps us appreciate why it feels so restorative. When we consciously create space for silence in our lives, we're not just seeking momentary peace, we're engaging in a scientifically validated practice that promotes neurological health, reduces biological stress markers, and enhances overall well-being. The measurable benefits of silence provide compelling evidence for its integration into our daily routines as a fundamental health practice. Living the silent way. Silence is not merely a practice, but a way of life that can transform our entire existence. As we conclude our exploration of silence power, we now turn to the art of integrating silence seamlessly into our daily routines and maintaining its presence in our increasingly noisy world. The key to living the silent way lies in understanding that it's not about completely eliminating sound or speech, but rather about creating intentional spaces of stillness that allow life to unfold naturally and effortlessly. The morning hours present the perfect opportunity to establish a foundation of silence for the day ahead. By waking up slightly earlier than usual, we can experience the profound quietude that exists before the world fully awakens. This time can be used for silent contemplation, gentle movement, or simply sitting with a cup of tea while watching the sunrise. These moments of intentional silence set the tone for the entire day, creating a reservoir of peace that we can draw from when faced with challenges. Creating silent rituals throughout the day helps maintain our connection to stillness. These can be as simple as taking 3 conscious breaths before entering a meeting, walking mindfully between destinations, or spending a few moments in silence before meals. The key is consistency rather than duration. Even brief moments of silence, when practiced regularly, can have a profound impact on our well-being and effectiveness. In our homes, we can designate specific areas as silent spaces where electronic devices are not allowed, and conversation is minimal. This might be a corner of a room with a comfortable chair, a small altar, or even a garden space where we can retreat when we need to reconnect with silence. These physical spaces serve as anchors, reminding us of the importance of silence in our lives and providing sanctuary from the constant stimulation of modern life. The challenge of maintaining silence in a noisy world requires both creativity and commitment. We can use technology mindfully by setting specific times for checking messages and social media, using airplane mode more frequently, and establishing clear boundaries around digital communication. Noise-canceling headphones can create portable bubbles of silence during commutes or in busy environments, allowing us to maintain our connection to stillness even in challenging circumstances. Living the silent way also means bringing mindful awareness to our interactions with others. We can practice speaking only when necessary, choosing our words carefully and allowing comfortable silences to exist in conversations. This approach often leads to deeper connections and more meaningful relationships as others begin to sense and appreciate the quality of presence we bring to our interactions. The integration of silence into our lives is an ongoing journey rather than a destination. Some days we may find it easier to maintain our silent practices, while others may present more challenges. The key is to approach this journey with gentleness and patience, understanding that each moment of silence builds upon the previous one, gradually transforming our experience of life. As we embrace living the silent way, we discover that silence becomes not just a practice, but a natural state of being. We find ourselves naturally gravitating toward quieter spaces, seeking out moments of stillness and experiencing greater peace even amid external chaos. This is the true power of silence, its ability to transform not just our immediate experience, but our entire approach to living. The silent way of life reveals that everything we seek can indeed come to us effortlessly when we learn to operate from a place of inner stillness. Through consistent practice and gentle persistence, we create a life that flows naturally, guided by the wisdom that emerges from silence.